This is WFO Radio.
Hey, everybody, WFO. Welcome back. The parade of 2021 NHRA champions has begun. Today, we're going to hear from Ron Capps. Ron is just seconds away. And I love hearing from Capps on a Friday, right before the weekend. It just kind of feels like it makes the start of the weekend get here a little bit quicker. In fact, as soon as this interview is over, it's the weekend for me, baby. I'll be headed down to Homestead Miami Speedway for a little Fast Lane Friday, street drags on pit road at Homestead. Hopefully everybody will come on out, those of you that can. We got Capps just seconds away. I want to tell you about the people who make it possible for me to do WFO radio. Seriously, without these folks, I wouldn't be doing the show. I would be working in the lumberyard with Danny Noonan, right? Talking about Total Seal piston rings, the leader in ring seal technology, totalseal.com. They've got a new app on their website that enables you to purchase individual rings, which is a very, very big deal in terms of saving time. They'll be at PRI. We'll be doing some stuff live from their booth at PRI, the PRI trade show. Wow, there's going to be a lot of good stuff happening at the PRI trade show. Check them out, totalseal.com. Samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Start your education at full speed. We always say that. The next generation of engine builders, machinists, CNC programmers, motorsport EFI tuners, they're all coming up through Samtech. Go to samtech.edu to find out more information. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, helping the next generation of drag racers, of champion drag racers. Frank Hawley's got a thing called the Dragster Adventure that, frankly, is just for listeners, right? You want to drive a dragster a couple of times, see what it's like. Courses start at $399, and I'm pitching it as a gift. A holiday gift. Someone in your life has never driven anything and they want to just show up and have super low commitment responsibility wise and super high entertainment value. That's what the Dragster Adventure is all about. Go to frankhawley.com, give him a call, tell him you heard about it on WFO Radio. And then my buddy, Marvin Rodak, rodakscoffeeandgrills.com, hot sauces and spice rubs, everything good. I was talking to Marvin this morning, and he's roasting up a little coffee, fresh per my order from the Dominican. It's going to be great, plus hot sauce and spice rub, everything good. 817-924-6821. Give Marvin a call. Get him to roast a little coffee special for your order. Also want to shout out to the folks at torquecalibrationservices.com.au of Australia. All you Australian racers and people in the industry, use this guy, Matt Clark. He's bringing the drag racing universe together with his support of WFO Radio. Thank you to all our sponsors. Later on in the show, we'll tell you what's up. There's a sale on the WFO Radio merch store. Everything is 35% off. Say what? Everybody is buying. They're getting stuff, good stuff. It's all geared up. But right now, it is time to connect with the champ, the two-time champ of the Camping World Funny Car Series category, Ron Capps. Ron, WF, yeah. Congratulations.
We missed doing that again. I heard you went to bed early and you missed the post-championship party that was at Chase's there in Laverne, but you might be glad you didn't go.
Maybe upcoming in the PRI trade show, we can make some time.
Yeah, that too. And plus, Winter Nationals, we'll go out to Chase's again. It's right by the track, and it's the cool place to go. So maybe we'll do that. Rain check.
I love it. Rain check. Well,
hang on. I got to share this on my Facebook.
Share it. Let's both share. I'll share on Twitter. I'll share on my Twitter.
Sharing is caring, right?
And to everybody out there who is a fan of NHRA, a fan of WFO, a fan of Ron Capps and funny cars and great competition and motorsports, share this first champions interview on WFO Radio, please, so we can grow more powerful than we could possibly imagine.
All
Ron,
right, shared.
You are the first champion of 2021. I'm super excited about this. We had you on a couple of weeks ago, right before Vegas, right? Like I felt like the timing was right. And amazing. It wasn't that long ago. You were telling us about relearning to drive with the push brake instead of the pull brake. And you won the championship in the same season. You had to relearn something. And like, that's amazing. That's amazing to think how far you came in 1 year.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like all those times I've gotten to racing nostalgia cars and the fuel altereds and the dirt cars and all that, you always get into something that you're not used to. Things are completely in different places you're not used to, and you have to adapt on the fly. And when we got put together with Guido and John Medlin and that team late, in January, right before the season started, I didn't want them changing a thing. I knew how good that car was that they had. Obviously, Beckman had so many good runs of that car. So I just said, let me adapt to you and what you're doing. And I had no idea that so many things were different or could be different from, the push brake, which was bizarro for me to get used to after 20 something years of driving a fuel car. All of a sudden you're doing something completely different that's very important in your procedure of driving this thing. So that, and there's some staging things that were different with the engine and things. So it was a lot of, uncertainty going in, but I've never been so focused on preseason testing like I was at West Palm, just getting used to the car. And then, then we went to Gainesville and #1 qualifier right off the bat. So that was big.
Amazing stuff. So is that you won the championship, but I want to know, for all the aspiring drivers out there, is that a better way or is it just a different way? The push brake, the pull brake, now that you've done both, you've adapted, you won the championship in both, what's better?
I don't know what's better. I'm sure I'm going to drive the fuel alter at the March meet again, and I'll have a pull brake, which will be strange now to go back to, but I don't know what's better. It's just different, I think. And it's funny because now I have people telling me, and I see little videos of back in the 60s, a lot of the front engine dragsters were push brakes. So it's not necessarily a brand new thing. I guess it's just whoever. I think Robert Hyde also uses a push brake, I was told. So, it's just, and Wilkerson, I was just told that too. So, hey, maybe there's something to it. We won a championship that way, so it can't be that bad.
Can't be bad. No, you won a championship with both. So there you go. Next thing, you're going to put a foot brake in it and we'll figure it out.
I can race the million, right? Foot brakes.
Exactly. People weighing in. Amaryllis out there, she's a big fan of yours. Blake in Wyoming saying congratulations. Everybody saying good morning and congratulations. I can tell you Marvin Rodak told me this morning, congratulations. My personal friend Corey Kramer, who you don't know, tell Ron I said congratulations. Like, everybody is super stoked about this deal. And also, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The last time you came on the show, you teased the big PRI announcement, right? And I do not want to participate in allowing a secret out early, Ron. I think anybody that tries to take some steam out of your balloon is doing you a disservice. But there is going to be a big announcement. You got a big thing going. So say what you can say to satiate the audience so that they don't ask a bunch of questions about it and instead use their questions for good things that we can actually talk about.
Yeah, listen, you're going to get me in trouble with my publicist. I've already got my hand slapped. But I will tell you, I will tell you that I just signed a release for my last day at DSR, which is strange after 17 years. So with that being said, Don and I talked back in September. I basically was going to be a free agent and this next year. So just some opportunities came up, and so I let him know back in September. And I've been working on some things, and a lot of good people around me, and just it's going to be fun for the future. I think our fans are going to love it. I can't give enough thanks to Antron Brown, and I think the fans feel that way as well. Seeing this next step that a lot of the racers are taking, and new blood as far as ownership and things like that, have been fun to watch Antron sort of grow. And I've been lucky. Listen, I drove for Dom Perdome for 9 years, almost a decade, and Dom Schumacher for 17 years. And, this is the next step. Our sport's growing. I just got a text from the guy at Fox Sports, and just how happy he was with everything this year with NHRA, and great compliment he gave me. And so I think the sport's in good hands, and that's owed to our fans. So I'm pumped about the next step, and whatever that might be. But the fans will know. All the dust will settle here for a couple of weeks, and then we'll head to PRI.
Well, exactly. And that's the thing. And I told them all yesterday, like, there's always a plan. There's a plan for a rollout, and you want to stay on the plan, and you want to get everybody excited. And PRI is the time when you guys are going to break this out. Like, do you know when? Is that a day one story? Is it 11 a.m. day one media room? Do you have that all figured out, or is that not yet figured out?
From what I know, it will be opening day. I'm not sure the exact time. It will be affiliated with NHRA. We're gonna do it at their big Wazoo setup they have there every year. Excellent. But PRI is, it's what SEMA used to be. It's hardcore racing stuff, and it's our time to say thanks. And I can't wait till next year to really pay homage to a lot of these sponsors that are on our cars with stickers this big, and they're inside the spoiler and the outside of the car and down below the car, that that there is no way championships are won without these people. And they're in our trailers. They're talking to our crew chiefs between rounds about how to help us. And they're the hardcore people that really make it happen so that our Napa guys put together a great car. It's all these manufacturers that are working their tails off in between races and trying to make our team better. And, you know, a lot of teams out there share a lot of these manufacturers, but it's those people that really the behind the scenes, I guess they're, you know, sort of the ones that, and I can't wait for PRI because that's our chance to roam around and say thanks, do an autograph session, meet and talk about next year, maybe go to dinner and just thank them because they don't get thanked enough, I don't think.
Yeah. No, they don't. Well, there's just only so much time, and that is great news. And again, we'll follow this story. So we're going to move off of that specifically, like where are you going to be and what are you going to be doing? But one thing that I believe that I am able to bring up is like we can talk about like, hey, this team that just won the championship, like these guys, Guido and John, and these guys, like the team is together, correct?
Yeah. In fact, the trucks just got back to DSR, I think yesterday. They got back 3 a.m, maybe the night before. And
defend your title together is what I'm. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, you know, obviously I didn't know it was Guido's first championship as a tuner. I figured he had already won one. I'm sure he's got a lot of rings from John Force.
Yeah.
As a crew guy. And that's where we met years ago. And I'm sure Medlin's got lots of rings from his years doing what he does. So, yeah, it's just a great team. You know, it's funny when Toba retired, most of that team, if not all, didn't want to go work for anybody else. And that is what tells you, you know, that camaraderie you hear about. You like I just said, I think I said in my interview when we won the championship in Pomona, like, you don't understand. Like, I grew up as a crew member and I come home, I drove the motorhome home and I've been doing interviews. Well, they had to tear everything down, jump in a rig and drive, I don't know how many hours back to India in all hours, and it's trading off drivers and to get back. And it's not the most glamorous job in the world, but it is what really wins championships. So, you know, Lagana sent me a cool picture. He was at the Checkered Flag Tavern that's right there in Brownsburg, which a lot of the racers go to, right? They go to lunch there. They probably frequent that place weekends at nights. But it's a local place, and he was there, and Hogan wanted to invite our team to join Torrance's team there. And there's a great picture on Facebook from there. I just saw it this morning, reposted. That's what's cool. Hogan wanted to take care of our team. The Checkered Flag had them all at lunch, big group picture, and it was just nothing but crew members. So those are the things I love to see.
Great. And, you know, Steve made a big deal about that. Steve said it a couple of times, like, I win with Ron on a regular basis. And I can think of a couple of examples. I think at E-Town, you guys won together. In Atlanta, you guys won together. And but then again, when Steve Torrance, you know, he wins every week, so it's a little easier.
All right.
Right. But he was real proud to win a championship with you. And he was deferential to you. Here the guys won 4 championships in a row, and winning with your team was a big deal to him and made this one special. And it's cool to hear that it extends, and it why wouldn't it, right? Richard Hogan and Bobby Lagana, those guys keep like the spiritual nature of the sport like so close to their heart. And that's a cool deal that they made a big deal about it.
Yeah, we've shared a lot of winner circles, but never the championship like that. So that was, or did he win a 16? No, he didn't win a 16, did he?
No,
I can't remember.
He didn't.
Who won Dragster in 16?
Antron Brown.
Yeah,
that's a very interesting thing. 2017 was Britt, and 2018 till now has been Steve.
Right. Okay.
You know who knows? NHRA.com. They know.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who's at the banquet with us. Anyhow. So we won a lot of races, and we always joked because Funny Cars always go first on in the final round, and we'd ever win. He'd go, all right, I feel better because we'd win a lot together. So we'd see us win, and we shared a lot of winner circles, and that's a fun group to win with. The Laganas and Pritchett and all those guys, they know how to have fun. So throughout the time that we've shared winner circles, it's always a great time. And we meet back in the pit area and celebrate. And you've been at a couple of those. In fact, you drove me to the airport after the Richmond win, which thank you. You saved my life and got me home, and I appreciate that. But those are the kind of winner circles that you always remember.
Well, exactly. And you've got second more than anyone except for John Forson in the media center. You said a couple of things about John, and I thought it was really cool. We'll talk about that. But let's talk about the race in that. I don't know how you guys survive, honestly. I don't know how you do it. The pressure, I feel it just standing on the starting line, like this intense gut-wrenching pressure. And you've been through it a million times. And me and Alan had a conversation that morning. It's like, man, Ron's been around so long, I don't know if he even feels it. But what about you? Like, for me, it felt like just a weight on everybody, thinking about Greg and Erica and Pro Stock and you and Hagen, knowing if everything goes right, you'll run each other for the championship second round, perhaps.
Yeah, that's what's unique about our sport. When qualifying's over at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock on Saturday, you've got all night to think about who you race. You know who you're going to run the next morning. And you take that up a lot of levels, times 1,000, and it's, the championship could be on the line for the second round. But I got to give credit, huge credit to the team, because our goal, and I told you and a lot of the media, was we were 50 points up going in. With points and a half, it was 30 points per round instead of 20. We needed to get it above 60, because 61 and above would have been the same as 90, right? It would have been 3 rounds that they would have had to go past us as far as Hagen. So that's not an easy task. When you say you're going to need to gain 3 points in qualifying over Dickie Venables and Matt Hagen, we have qualified probably on average, I would say one of the best cars, and right there, if not better than them, but with them. But to say that you have a goal of doing that, that's a pretty stout goal. So always we want to qualify first, and it sounds dumb, right? But you never know. So the first goal is to qualify. We did that first lap, and we gained 3 points. So now we go to bed Friday night, and we're like, okay, we know it's going to be hot Saturday, first run. Now we're back of the pack. Dragsters run first. Hagen's car is up further because he didn't make it down the track on that first Q1 on Friday night. And I can see towing through Pomona, they got a gap in the fence before we pull out where the grandstands are. And there's a big screen right there. And I saw them run 395. I couldn't hear it, but I saw they made it. My crew told me 395. And I thought, oh boy, they might just get those 3 points back. That was a stout run for the heat that was right at that time. I think Robert Height and Proc went 395 also. But I thought, if we don't make it down, now we lost those 3 points. And who knows, going in the last session at Saturday night after Dragsters, it's going to be the best conditions probably. And you never know, Dickie could go low AT and take more points back. So there was a lot of that going on behind the scenes. I don't think the fans even realized. But what did we do? We went 393. And I was on the radio yelling and screaming down there like I'd won the race, because I was so proud of what Guido had done. I mean, it was amazing. That right lane had a little worse bump in it. And we knew the pressure was on probably more than any time. And to go 393 when we knew we had to go quicker was huge. And I think at that point, it almost sealed that we were going to be over 60 with the qualifying position and all that. So that was big. And that took a little pressure off. But like you said, first round, you don't overlook Terry Haddock. And people were saying, quarterfinals with Hagen, that's for the championship. And I go, no, first round with Haddock. You don't ever overlook anybody out there. Anything can happen.
Well, you experienced it. Like, that moment earlier this year in Epping, you got burned, bad deal, but maybe it served the purpose, right? To make sure you didn't overlook this guy, because he did get down the racetrack. That was crazy. He made a good run.
And he's been running really well. I mean, he's going down the track, and he's not had issues, and it's really probably most improved car and driver out there. I mean, they're really doing well. So you don't want to make a mistake, but also you want to go for lane choice. So do you race the racetrack? You're not racing them. And I know Guido always concentrates on trying to race the racetrack, but you always know who's over there. I promise. Guido can say that all he wants. Tobler can say that all he wants, but you know when there's a Proc over there, you know when there's a Dickie Venables, right? So you can't say that all the time and completely mean it. But, on your note, I mean, all you got to do is look at Halloween Day in Vegas and look at the slaughter that went on with all the teams around us fighting for the championship. And yeah, Epping was huge, losing to Haddock, but a prime example is all those teams going out for whatever reason, first round in Vegas.
Yeah. So let's, does it all really come down to Vegas? Like, that first round is a historic first round. There was a scrum in Funny Car all year long. We reset the points, and it actually expanded the category, unlike the other categories that had brought it together. But first round in Vegas, like, that's really where everything turned, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it was just weird circumstance. We had the president of Napa there. We had a bunch of the new people at corporate that are handling our sponsorship, and all you want to do is just go around. You just want to get past first round while they're, for the first time. So we qualify eighth, and who do we have? Tim Wilkerson. Lane choice matter there? Probably not. Now we have Tim Wilkerson. It doesn't matter. He has been whipping everybody all year long, including us. And
in the final round of Indy, like you got to have, it's not like you can get back, but my gosh, racing gods, what are you doing to me?
Yeah, not even that. I mean, you'd never want to run Wilkerson. You just don't. I mean, him and Hartman, that you just don't know what they're going to do. They could be struggling sometimes on a weekend, and he'll go up and just go low AT the whole weekend on anybody. So with that being said, what the worst part was is being 8 and 9, it makes you the very last pair of funny cars in first round. So you got to sit back there, and I hate listening, and I don't want to know what's going on, but I had my helmet on in the car, and I'm hearing the crowd go crazy every run and not knowing back in the staging lanes who was up. And I'm not wanting to ask my crew guys, but somebody came over and told me Force had gotten beat, and JR, and then Hagan went out. And then you're thinking, okay, this is a weird day, and now we're going to end up part of that weird day, right? So somehow we got by Wilkerson, and that was one of the closest days. His run would have won any other round. But, I mean, it was close. It was a hard-fought first round, and there was a lot of really strange things within our camp finding out later that that could have cost us that first round and didn't. And it was the spiritual stuff. And I always joke about it, but Eric Medlin I see on my injector, and I aim the car with that on the back of the injector with Eric's name. And a lot of really cool things that make you wonder, at times, like, am I really being looked after? And there's been times this year I felt, you saw, I jump out of the car at the other end, and I go, I didn't even feel like it was me in the car. Some of the whole shot wins, I just felt like I was driving out of my mind. And it was, looking back, there's some really cool moments like that.
Well,
yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, good old days.
But like, that's the three of you. Okay, let's get into that. I mean, I do want to ask you about the run against Hagan, and you lifted, right? Like, you had the better light and you stayed with it, and the car like kind of did drift, and you lifted.
No, put a cylinder out, 2.9 seconds. There's a couple of pretty good bumps in the right lane, and it hit the first bump. And Guido's been good about, we won the Winter Nationals in August, very hot day, and we stayed in that lane even though it had those bumps. And that day it was putting cylinders out, and we were running unbelievable, like a couple tenths ahead of most people. So when it did it, I just thought it was like August. So it put the cylinder out in the right, the first bump, and I was just trying to get at the finish line and didn't see Hagan, didn't even hear him, but I was fighting the car because I could see the wall, and I'm just trying to get it as far as I can and thinking that we were going to still pull it off. Yet if I tag the wall, it's going to be additional 10 points, right? So
that's my point.
Yeah.
Point penalty. Like, you got to think that you were doing math in your head. Like, I can't hit the wall. If I hit the wall, that's worse than losing the round, really. Yeah.
It's something, it's out there, and Phil Burgess wrote about it going into the weekend. Like, hey, don't forget, these are little things that, somebody does that, there's a substantial point deficit that you get for it. And I'd already crossed the center line in Bristol. So it would have been 10 points had I crossed center line going into Pomona or touched the wall. And don't think it wasn't on my mind. I mean, every day leading in Pomona, I had to keep telling myself, get that out of your head, because it's so easy when cylinders go out for these cars to do that. And you got to be ready. So yeah, all that's going on in my head, not seeing Hagan. And then I hit the shoots button, and I look up, my wind light was not on. And I thought, oh my gosh, here we go. So now, we lose that round. We wanted to clinch right there. And now we just have to wait and hope somebody's going to take them out.
And you were under the tower when it happened, and it's Dell. And I was talking to Dell about it. He's been there, and he knew, and they were out for their own. But you kind of were prior to everybody coming over, because Dickie came over and Bruno came over. But I did a whip around, and I saw you standing like, it wasn't like Antron's. Antron's in 2010, if that was 2010, he was surrounded by family, and everyone was there supporting him and rubbing his shoulders and taking care of him. You were a lone wolf under the tower, all by yourself, just watching when you found out you were the champ.
I joked, I was like the field goal kicker with 2 seconds left, like nobody wanted to come near me. And so I was waving to people in the suites behind me, just trying to stay busy until the cars fired up. And so they wanted me to go to the finish line, and all I could think in my head was Doug Coletta on the run, and they had him at the finish line. I just remember that video running through my head of him seeing that run, knowing he just lost a championship and being at the top and just walking away, right? And then I pictured Antron's at the starting line. So I told the TV people, I am not going to the finish line. I'll go to the starting line. And if we happen to win and Alexis wins and we clinch, I'll get on the scooter and ride right down to the finish line, I promise. So that's kind of what I did. And there I was up by myself. But yeah, Bruno, man, he's a racer at heart. And he was tearing up the whole time during. I'm trying to do the interview and hold myself together. And he is tearing up as I'm talking. And of course, Don came over and Dickie, but Nicky Bonifani ran over and high-fived me right off the bat, and I was just looking to give Del Worsham a hug. Saw his wife Connie and all them, and you hate cheering against somebody, but it's a world championship, and they're not your teammates on Sunday. I mean, you do your best to go up there and hope that somebody takes care of business, but you certainly don't want to wish bad on anybody. And it was a great race. I couldn't tell. All I saw was a win light, but I didn't know how close it was till I got home and watched TV.
Yeah, very close, very close. And that's when they started to get into my ear, like, escort Ron to the top and tell him he needs to go now. I'm like, Ron, you got to go.
Hey, props to Alexis. That bumpy lane, I mean, to get down it like she did, had they been better in the countdown, that would have been another team right there in the hunt come Pomona time. I mean, there's so many great teams that came alive, but man, she was on it.
We were joking yesterday that she wants a race this weekend, right? They don't want to put it away for the year.
Right.
They're ready to go. They're ready to go. But in the end, though, you become a two-time champion and you win the deal. And it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's out of nowhere, but it's like Ron Capps emerges champ, second championship of his career now. And it's no one ever thinks of Ron Capps as like having to prove anything. But boy, 2 championships really does make a statement about the second winningest funny car driver in history. And that's what I wanted to get to about Force. Right. It's almost like you got this guy who's on another planet with his numbers, being the second highest in wins and having the profile that you've had and all that. You said in the media center, like, this is great. Like, this is a perfect place for me to be.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. He is the GOAT. There's no doubt about it. So, it's okay. We had Haley Steinfeld, the actress, and yes. She was hanging out all weekend with her brother Griffin, who, he's does some small tire racing with his truck. But Haley came out, and it was funny because in the pit area, I couldn't wait to finish all the interviews to top end. I wanted to get to my pit area because I hope somebody has video of those guys hearing the radio on that run, because they weren't with me and I wasn't with them. I could not wait to get back there. So when we finally got back to the pit area, everybody's in the pit area, family, friends, we're taking pictures. It's like a mini winner's circle in the pit area. And it was funny because Forrest came wandering in our pit area, and I was talking to Haley Steinfeld and her brother and my family, and Forrest came walking in to say congratulations, and she knew who he was. I mean, that's how, you know what I mean? I mean, this is an actress, big time social media person.
I was super excited. Everyone was asking me, like, who is that? And like, dude, she's big. She's a huge actress. Probably.
So she looked at me, and I got the look like, without asking, I knew that she wanted to get a picture, and her brother. So I said, Forrest, get over and get a picture. So we got a picture together with Haley and John and I and her brother, and it was kind of cool. But that just tells you, I mean, he's just, he's bigger than what our sport is, and it's okay to be second to him.
Yeah, well, and honestly, he's also been doing it for like 20 more years than you. So Ron Capps in 20 years, who knows where you'll be, right? Like if you keep doing it as long as Forrest, who's 72 years old, which I don't advise, but that is that is a different story. So it's amazing though, watching it wash over you though, like from 1 minute it's stress to the next minute. You are just in full celebration mode. But I want to double back on the Medlin stuff because I believe in stuff like this. I know, it's a little weird and but you told some stories in the winner's circle and all, and I accept it as reality. Like when you say a story like that, I always watch those weird, like Bermuda Triangle, aliens, ghosts. Always been interested in that because I sense that there's something out there. There's something. I don't know what it is. I can't define it. I can't explain it. But John Medlin, this is not the first time he has said this. This has been an ongoing thing that, let's just say it, that Eric communicates with him. Simple as that.
Yeah, there's too many to tell, and there's some I probably wouldn't repeat because they're emotional. But he'll come in, and like Sunday, he would come up and put his hands on my shoulders, and he would give me these Italian quotes in Italian. And he does this time to time when he might think maybe I need a little something like that. I don't know, but it's pretty cool when he does that. And he a lot of times will come in and he will tell me about a dream that he woke up in the middle of the night, popped up in his hotel room, and Eric's talking to him clear as day. And we'll talk about what Eric said to him. And we came in after we lost, and he walked into the lounge, and he had a nickname for Eric. And he looked at Eric's in the lounge. There's a couple pictures, few of them, all around the lounge of Eric, different ones. And so he looked at the one right there, and he said, "Sorry, bud." And he said it right back at him. Said, "Don't worry, it's going to be all right." In which it didn't. An hour and a half later. But I'll tell you, the weirdest part, and it's strange, but we talk about Vegas, and we always look back at the wins that maybe won us the championship or maybe didn't. And looking back, and Guido can tell the story, maybe you get Guido on during the winter time, but basically the cylinder heads that we had on for the final round, we lost to Cruz. I mean, we were going to win that race. We were out in front of Cruz. The car was running flawless, and it backfired there in the final round. And the problem that we had with the little nut that pulled the threads out, those cylinder heads were going to be on the car first round, which would have been against Wilkerson, and we would have been another one of those upset. You can't call it upset against Wilkerson, but another weird one with the points leaders, right? And somehow, and Guido can tell the story, something told him, and they ended up putting those and saving them. If you walk in our pit area on any given Sunday morning, we expect to win so much that we have engines and cylinder heads with headers already bolted to them, lined up, and written on them in ink is E1, E2, E3, and final round. We expect to be there, right? And so some reason he swapped them, and he kept those for the final round. And lo and behold, we went out and got past Wilkerson, thank God. But it's just strange, and he can't explain what really made him, because he normally wouldn't have. So it was just one of those weird things. But if you're around Medlin and you're around that, the spirituality that he has, you quickly learn that it's pretty neat. I love it. I love those mornings with Medlin. I love those talks we have. It makes it just, the crew guys love having him around. It's just a great thing.
I didn't know, quotes in Italian. I didn't know that John Medlin had Italian heritage, maybe a name shortened at Ellis Island or something, or what's the deal? But he speaks Italian. He's telling you stuff in Italian. I
mean, famous quotes by, I don't even know who. Ask him next time you see him. Ask him the one he told me Sunday morning, because I remember him rattling off. Of course, I got a lot going on in my head before first round, but it's pretty cool.
Well, I'm just thinking, you got Medlin doing Italian quotes. You got Dean Antonelli, who is not Polish. Right? There's something here. There's something happening here. You're like the team of Italy here in the United States.
I'm Portuguese. My mom's Portuguese, so yeah, maybe there's something there. We got that whole continent.
Great explorers, right? Everybody who found everything, you got them covered on the Caps team here, right here. All right, so the celebration. Now, what we had the wrap party, which was nice. What's your opinion on the wrap party, though? You'd prefer downtown Los Angeles in the future, correct?
Listen, I love them both. It was pretty cool to have In-N-Out Burger, have everybody there to join us, and just get up and get it over with on Sunday night and not having to get dressed up. I don't know about you, but every season there is more stress worrying about all the details of getting to Hollywood for Monday night, with the girls getting their hair done, the makeup getting done. Everybody's a little hurt on Monday mornings, hopefully because you did well.
Yes.
And just having to get down through traffic and get the tuxedos and the girls getting dressed up. And I did miss seeing all the women and the girlfriends and the wives all dressed up. That's one cool thing about the banquet that's always fun in Hollywood. And of course the after party. Because all these people ride this roller coaster with us, right? Friends and family. It's not just us racers, but that's really for them. All that fun and the after party, it's their fun time to come out and have a good time. And so we love that. But it was pretty cool to have a double with cheese and then still have it all over my face and go up and give a speech. And that was pretty cool.
It was. No, it was a good time. And then out into the night around Pomona, pretty amazing. And we got it in like this year. What a challenged year to think that we started in Gainesville and we had Pomona in the middle of the year. And there were times that people thought that those races weren't going to happen. And not only did they happen, but at the Auto Club finals, it felt mostly normal. And I'm hoping by the Winter Nationals, normal will be normal is what I'm hoping.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we couldn't have the banquet. I live in San Diego, and Southern California is still a little bit of a mess post-COVID. You can have Dodger Stadium completely full of people, and yet 10 miles away, LA County wants you to show a vaccine to walk into a bar or restaurant. So it's a little weird still, but I think by Winter Nationals will be great. NHRA did a great job of getting us through, and next year, I talked to all the owners yesterday on a Zoom call, track owners, and we're going to be back in Richmond, which is very fun and exciting. We so missed going there. Seattle, and of course Phoenix. So we missed being there. We're going to be back there, and there's going to be some great news coming out of NHRA on one more track that could be added. So there's going to be a lot of fun things for our fans, and yeah, just so glad we got through the year.
Tim Dillon says the banquet needs to be in Indy with PRI. I've heard that.
Tim's on my team. I think that's
your guy. He said
on my team. He's right. It should be actually in Indy. That would be a party.
Congratulations, Tim. Yeah, no, he weighed in a little bit earlier too. Something funny. Yes, including us. He was talking about the stress, right? The stress of the moment.
Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that my crew guys are stressed, because they don't look stressed out at all.
No, I'm just impressed that it went the way it did. And now, what about phone calls? Who'd you get phone calls? I saw you had the guy from Pennywise there, right?
Yeah.
Like the rock and roll contingent was there, just kind of incognito. But what kind of texts did you get?
Oh my God, I can't even start. I had 480 on Sunday night, and I'm still trying to get back to a few. Clint Boyer just texted yesterday. All the friends I have in the music industry and Metallica guys, and System of a Down. Darren, the guitar player, just texted me last night. I mean, people are slowly finding out about it, and it's really cool to get those messages. But really, I mean, Ace and Snake and Roland and Harry Burkholder, who you just had up, the famous Fuel Altered, the Burkholder brothers. It was crazy to go down that list, especially sponsor people that I've gotten attached to throughout Napa over these years, and those store owners that work their tail off, so I get to represent them. Those are the best messages.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't go better than this. Winning the championship, ending the season, got a major announcement coming at the PRI show, which is going to amplify this sport. I'm thinking in terms of the sport, like Fox broadcast folks were very happy. I think we were up 6% or 7% on the year. But it's that you have to build, right? It's not going to be like flipping a light switch from one day to the next. You have to build momentum. That 5% can turn to 10%, can turn to 20%. Camping World, first full season, so much going on. And that's why people are excited about the future of this sport. Like this year might go down in history as like a seminal moment where things turned for even better. Not that they were bad.
No, and it was ironic. Saturday we had somebody in there. I think Amanda was interviewing me, and there's a guy standing behind him. I'd recognized, but I didn't know who it was. And I went up and started talking to him, and he's on the NHRA board of directors. In fact, he is the guy pretty much responsible for a lot of our TV packages. But he was the brains and pushed real hard for NHRA's app, to watch on TV or your phone, yes. NHRA.TV, and it was fun to talk to him because I remember him being appointed to the board, and we had some good talks because I asked him, I said, look, I love promoting our events, but how about all the people on NHRA.TV that watch it? Because I always try to let those people know, set your VCR or your DVR, I don't know if you got a VCR anymore, but set your recorders to watch the show on Fox and Fox Sports 1, because it matters to the Nielsen ratings, even though you're watching it on NHRA.TV, which is what my family watch all day long. And then they'll flip over to the Fox show when it goes live. But yeah, he just said it's not a big deal that they don't know how many people are doing that. There is a lot. But it was really cool to talk to the guy that really had a lot of that insight, and he's always behind the scenes. So he paid me a great compliment, which was cool. And that was Saturday. So that was pretty neat.
And they just announced yesterday or the day before that NHRA content is going to be on Tubi and Roku and all these different cord-cutting streaming services where there are people on there searching for content like, hey, man, I don't have my normal cable bundle. I'm going to find something interesting on here. Hey,
Joe,
look,
let me tell you. Hold on a second. Okay, we have Roku, right? And my family watches me on the road. That channel, Plex, I think, is a free app on there. It's one of them that has had that channel on there. And it's for anybody watching, get out your TV, that's smart TV or your Roku or whatever, and find this channel. It is nonstop old school racing. It's sprinkled in with old diamond piece. I mean, the old footage is unbelievable. Like I hope more of our fans find out about this and start watching it. But it's something we only dreamed about a couple years ago. And I mean, the footage is crazy to watch some of these old races. I just watched one that was on. It had Daryl Gwynn and Garlich, you know, the big time matches they had. And just, it's a lot of fun to watch the new and the old stuff that they put up on that.
Well, this incredible content, right? Like it doesn't get old. You can watch it over and over again, that stuff. And we got to get it out there though. And they're doing a good job of getting it out there. Yeah, and next year will be even better.
And we have a video game coming out, and I've seen some little clips sent to me for all this video game, and I get tons of messages because I had so much involvement with the past video games on PlayStation. And
that's your career. That's your chosen real career, video game development. Nobody knows that.
Yeah, and so those games were so much fun to do. Tommy DeLago helped me with the mechanical part of it with the game. That last couple drag racing games were so much fun. But for the fans out there that play video games, we have one coming that's going to be on all the platforms, and it's going to be pretty cool. I've seen some of the clips that they've shown so far of tracks and cars. And so that I think is coming out later this next year. So that'll be cool for our fans.
That's awesome. And hopefully, you know, like the last one was very crew chief centric. And I'm sure this one will be too. But, you know, people want to drive, baby. People want to drive. That's what I think, you know.
Drive and tune. The last game really explained to a lot of people how things work because you had to sort of tune these cars, you know, not to the extent of Guido's and what these guys do and all the, but you had to learn how to clutch worked, and you had to learn how to fuel and slide these timers. So it was kind of fun, especially we put crew chiefs in the game, and we used to mess around and have a real crew chief tell us what they would do on a run, and the car would go out and run pretty good, you know, compared to what we were doing. And so it was always fun to have a crew chief standing behind us playing the game with us.
Bobby and Dominic said that was what they would do in between rounds, like play the game. And there's
every night we would go out, we would play that head-to-head game, and it was always fun.
Awesome. Ron, thank you very much. You know, obviously we could keep you forever and ever. It is Friday. We want to let you get out there and have a little fun in Southern California. See the Tom Patsis Championship trophy behind you. Cold Hard Art design. We got the big announcement coming up. Day one, PRI. All will be revealed. In the meantime, we're going to let you guys build the hype, build the moment, and we'll have something else to talk about during the winter break. And it's just so exciting. But congratulations. You've come on every time you won this year. Started the season off strong. Big wins throughout. A lot of qualifying points. Again, you know, congratulations and thank you for what you do for WFO, because you really push it out there. Not everybody goes as far as you do to share and retweet and share and talk about it. And it makes a difference, and it has helped with our program for credibility and for fun. And our listeners, they love you, and thank you.
Well, likewise, your show is great, and our fans, they love it. And that's all I hear about the week after I'm on your show is everybody tuned in, or they're on the airplane, they watched it. So thank you for what you're doing, and it's going to be a fun future.
Yes, it's going to be a fun future. Now, I was going to ask you to do a liner for the show, but I'm not feeling it right now. We'll do it another time. We'll do it another time. You know what I mean? Like this has been too great to sully in any way with any, let's just celebrate this championship. How was Cousin Donnie? Was he okay? Did he survive?
He's okay, yeah. He's been working a lot, believe it or not. He's a chiropractor, but he had a real job during Pomona. So he's usually my ticket guy, and he wasn't around. So I had some help with some other friends, but he's all right. And for doing your liner, let's wait and do an afternoon show in this off season where maybe it's happy hour perhaps. And maybe that liner might be a little better than it might be at, I don't know, a morning here in California.
Well, that's, you know what? I made that call, right? I was feeling it. It was like, oh man, this is not right to do it. happy hour during the winter break at some point at your convenience after the announcement. We'll do it.
I'm on. Right. Just let me know.
Have fun
Thank
out
you, Joe.
there. Way to go, Ron. Congratulations again. Amazing stuff. Take care. Have a great weekend.
You too.
There he goes. Ron Capps with us here on WFO Radio. How about that? And what a year. What a year. And you got to think about, Dickie Venables and Matt Hagan and everybody at Tasca and Force and Alexis. Like, everybody had a good year. That's the thing about Funny Car. It's like even Terry Haddock, like, got some round wins, got in the mix, did some things. Like, good stuff happened this year. And it was very exciting. So thanks to Ron for joining us. And if you're new to WFO Radio, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud for the audio only of the show. That way, when you're driving or going over the road. But if you want to watch the video stream, YouTube is what we promote, WFO Radio TV. Subscribe, click the bell, enable notifications. We've got a full archive. You can go in there and find every interview from Ron this year and find out like what he thought after everyone, including the announcement that he would be coming back. Remember, the guy wasn't even sure he was coming back. His future was in question, right? Like, what's going to be happening? Like, where am I going to be? Where am I going to end up? What's it going to look like? And then he got put together with John and Dean and went out there and amazing stuff. Really amazing. So congratulations to Ron Capps and team. Tim, great job. You got 2 wheels right, but a wheel stander. Right. Capps is going to be in a wheel stander next year. Stop the speculation, everybody. Stop the speculation. Listen, if you love Ron Capps, the best thing you can do is to watch the announcement, and whenever the announcement comes out, share whatever the details are and talk about it then. But to go off message and confuse, it's not helpful. It's just not. It's sad. It's sad. Love for you to get Terry Haddock and ask him about his Santa Pod experience. Would love to get Terry Haddock on the show. Terry's never been on WFO. Terry is so busy guy. Like, I hate to ask him to do stuff, even at the track, like, to have time for interviews. Terry, it's always tough. What a great interview with Ron. Thank you, WFO Joe. Ron is a professional. Absolutely. Class act all the way, says everybody. All right, I want to remind everybody a couple things before we get up on out of here. This is a Friday show, right? It's Friday. Tonight, I'm going to Fastlane Friday. He said it was called Plex. And I think the Plex channel is where I accidentally saw the Australian drag racing that I let Matt know about from Torque Calibration Services. I came home and found really high quality Australian drag racing series racing on some channel on YouTube TV. And I think it was Plex. And so way to go, Plex. But also NHRA.TV. And Ron is talking about doing his version of the ratings game. Remember that? Wasn't it Danny DeVito in the ratings game, where they are a mob family and they get into television production and they send all the family members out on a cruise that they won, and they have their people take over their Nielsen boxes, and they watch this one channel created by Danny DeVito, I believe. And all the shows were like, the Goombas and everything. It was very, funny, very, very negative Italian-American stereotype, but whatever, it was funny. And that's what he's talking about with NHRA.TV. Like, even if you watch NHRA.TV, everybody should DVR the Fox show. Like, that's just the way it is. Like subscribing to WFO on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, like sharing the show, even if you don't watch it. It's just part of being a loyal fan. You got to DVR it on Fox Sports 1. And they had all those great numbers increases. And the thing with the NFL is going to continue next year. We're going to have another big race with the NFL next year. And they announced the Pro Stock schedule, and the full schedule is up on NHRA.com. You can get one of these cool PDFs, every category, every race, and you know who's what, et cetera, and so on. All right, put your comments in the comment section, everybody. Let's do a little Friday free-for-all Q&A at the end of this. Not too much, because this is the Capps Parade of Champion interview, which hopefully everybody will share. Even if you get to this point, share, retweet, send along, put it in an email so that everybody can see Ron Capps' champion interview. But this is just getting started. I have reached out to Greg Anderson. The answer is yes. Greg Anderson will be joining us next Wednesday, right before Thanksgiving. Next Wednesday, midday, we'll have Greg Anderson will be our second champion. And it's a matter of whether I want to get Matt Smith in before or after Thanksgiving. And what's up with Steve Torrance? Steve, who I always try to let him off the hook because he wins too much. He goes, "You can't win too much, man. I'll come on whenever you want," which I thought was really nice and kind. And I love to hear the idea that the Capco team and the Caps team, they get along so well, and that Steve was stoked to win the championship together. So put your comments and thoughts and questions in the comment section, and we'll get to that. But I want to shout out, big thanks. I've got this whole moment on video. I got to send it to Caps. And just that 2-time champion. Really amazing. Those of you who went to the WFO store yesterday, I put that link up in the comment section at the start, and you're getting a little WFO swag, a little merch, a little drip out of the WFO store. It's all on sale right now, 35% off, all the different stuff. And this is the direction we're going to be going, like WFO themed gear. Of course, we want you wearing the podcast logos out there, but WFO themed gear that is cool sayings. And we're ultimately going to ask the audience for any ideas. You can always email joe@wforadio.com if you want to support the cause. Appreciate that. But also our Patreons, the WFO Patreons, secret society of WFO radio listeners. They are the advisory board. Like, I asked them some questions the other day, like, "Hey guys, like, when I come on without a guest, is that good or is it bad for the show?" Like, I mean, I can go on and talk drag racing with the people whenever we want. We don't always have to have a guest, or do we? What do you think? And the advisory board, that is the Patreons, they weighed in. They gave me a legit answer. And our sponsors, like Torque Calibration Services of Australia. Sky is down there in Australia. TorqueCalibrationServices.com.au. And so if you're in Tennessee, you cannot patronize this man. You cannot help. But if you know someone that's a racer in Australia, or you're connected to a team or a client, give him the website, because he supported Championship Week programming on WFO Radio. And we're going to be reaching out a lot more to folks like that as we get involved into 2022. Our friends at Nitro Fish, Keelan and Tamara in the trailer, Randy Lynn and Bo coming back, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, their Dragster Adventure, Frank and Lana. They always retweet our stuff, and they've got a great program going on there for licensing. If you want to become a champion driver, if you want to be out there and get it done, that's fine. But also the Dragster Adventure allows you to just drive a dragster. Great program. Samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. They'll be at the PRI trade show. I'll be hanging out with Brian at some point, I'm sure. Total Seal Piston Rings, the leader in ring seal technology. TotalSeal.com. Revamped website, all new. You can get the show on there. Gary Stinnett episode comes out next Wednesday. The Gary Stinnett episode comes out next Wednesday. So go listen to the Frank Iaconio episode. Go listen to the Frank Iaconio episode ASAP. Get it in. It was really great. And the WFO store, like, if you want to get to all of our stuff, go to WFOradio.com and visit the store. Face coverings and whatnot available. Not that people need them nearly as much. And isn't that great? Oh, man. And Marvin Rodak, Rodak'sCoffeeandGrills.com, hot sauces and spice rubs and everything good. I was talking with Marvin this morning just about the season, and we were on the same page about just what we felt about everything that went, and what a great year it was. And, you know, looking at the face covering thing, where we were 1 year ago to where we are right now, like, it's inarguable that things are infinitely better health-wise and economically wise. Inarguably, yeah, I know people are paying a little more than they want to for certain things, but it is my hope that that is a temporary deal as a result of the pandemic, right? Like, there was no demand, and now everybody wants everything, and they're getting ready for the holidays, and everybody's out and they're buying it up, and there's not as much stuff as we would like. But hopefully that'll be fixed soon. But year over year, there's no denying we have come a long way for the good. And I was just looking at some stories. Austria, they're locking down again because they don't have enough people that vaccinated, et cetera, and so on. We're not going to have to deal with that, hopefully. And that's such great news. I'm willing to send out some free stickers to anyone who wants them. You just got to do the busy work. Castello Media /WFO stickers, P.O. Box 848-353, Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33084. And you do the writing out your own address and putting the stamp on it and all the return address and all of that. And I'll fill it with stickers. You send it to me at the address below. Self-addressed stamped envelope. Google how to do that, and that'll help you out. But I can't say enough for this year. Like, I can't say enough for, I go back to 2020, and coming out of the box, I felt like it was going to be the best year ever for NHRA drag racing. And even at Phoenix, standing there with Nikki and Courtney and Erica after Erica's win at Phoenix, getting ready to go to Gainesville, I thought to myself, this has the potential to be the best year ever of NHRA drag racing, like a year that moves the needle, a year that grows the sport, like some of those mid-90s years were for NASCAR, with all the personalities and all the people. And of course, we all know what happened. 2020 happened in the pandemic, and we lost 700,000 plus people, and we had some real negative stuff happen. But now we're coming out. And 2021, what a year. Greg Anderson battles Erica Enders to the end, goes down, ends up with 99 wins. So the 100th milestone win will come in 2022, if that were to happen. Ron Capps wins a championship, new team. You know, we had some negative stories. We had some positive stories. Goes on, fights Hagen to the wire. Hagen is going to Tony Stewart drag racing. Hagen and Leah going to Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart getting involved in the sport. Rick Hendrick getting involved in the sport. All of these amazing storylines. Alexis DeJoria, like going out, breaking out, big wins. Team that can win races in the countdown, obviously. So many great stories. Matt Smith, Scrappers Racing. So many great stories for 2022. And, the video game and the TV stream and all of these things, right? And I cannot stress, there's a lot of good news coming, guys. A lot of good news for NHRA 2022. And Ron just dropped a new one, new track, maybe. A new track. Like, what is it? What is he talking about? I haven't heard that. Because there's a lot of stuff that I hear, but I just can't. It would be doing a disservice to the people who told me. I can't do it, right? So let's see what everybody's got to say. Like, look at this. There's one. We'll bust that out. That tells you all you need to know. Maybe that'll be in our championship artwork. All right, comments. Final comments. I'm going to send this one to Phil Burgess. My new column is in NHRA's National Dragster, by the way, and it's right about many things. The only thing that it's off on was the 359.9 by David Grubnick, but I'm blaming the weather. I'm blaming the weather. All right, so here's where we go. Plex was the Roku channel, but Roku's got all kinds of different stuff. When is PRI? December 8th, 9th, 10th, I believe. Indianapolis, Indiana. I'll be heading up there. For Total Seal, I'll be in the Total Seal booth. PRI is great, and it's my favorite trade show. I did like it better when it was Orlando, though. Sorry, Indy guys. It was better when you guys came down to the sun instead of me going up to the weather. Great show, Joe, says Scott. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you. Lonnie says Cindy. Derek says Cindy. It's industry only, but let's face it, you don't have to be a genius to figure out how to get in there. You know, you just got to know the right person that's in the industry, and they request. Plex with the Aussie Racing. Thank you, Jim. Dude, it was great. I really enjoyed it. Hey, Joe, how about an update on the Pontiac? Good idea. So, been having discussions about the Pontiac. I had a long post-Vegas discussion with Jason Line about the plan. And he's guiding me and motivating me and has been amused along the way. And we now are working the plan. I've got a couple of things that I'm going to do in the front end of the race car involving A-arms and bushings and all of that are going to help. I got to figure out something with the headers. That's going to be a problem. But as far as the engine goes, I'm going to have Hedman Hustler headers on there. And, do I know anybody over there? Not currently. So we'll have to see what I can do. But data acquisition is going to go on this car. So I'm got to put some O2 sensors in, things like that. But step one for the engine is disassemble and evaluate. That's where we are. Disassemble and evaluate. So I have to set up my engine situation. We're going to do it at home. I'm going to put the car in the trailer, and I'm going to set my dad's garage and turn it into a hospital-like condition engine build / evaluate area. And our friend who from Warpath Performance has been a Pontiac genius since day one, sold us our first set of cylinder heads. He's very connected in the super stock world. We're going to do the engine disassemble, and I'm going to make that content for WFO Radio. That's going to be a project for us, maybe on the YouTube channel. I'll do my best with it. Engine disassemble and evaluate. and we'll see what we've got. We'll see who wants to be involved with the project and who's, wants to support WFO radio, this project to get the car on the track. But the gist of what Jason told me, he goes, Joe, like ultimately you're slowing the car down to go 1090s. You already run 1020s. So if you can get the car right back to where it needs to be and you're slowing it down, like, how much do you want to do to this thing to slow it back down? Like, how much more do you want to spend to slow it back down? You just got to make sure you've got, good, healthy valve train components and make sure nothing's wrong with it. That sounds like a smart thing to me. So that's what we'll be doing in the old disassemble and evaluate deal. And then we'll put back together and, new ignition system and new transmissions and converters, which are already built. I just got to have them looked at. I've got to, assess them and see what we've got. And hopefully we'll be going again. And how about this for crazy news? The Orlando divisional race that for so many years started the season is not starting the season anymore in NHRA Southeastern Division. It's concluding the season. The NHRA Southeastern Division is going to start at South Georgia Motorsports Park. You can see that on NHRA.com. It's actually a very considerable move. And, I think that race is probably going to be up against the Camping World Series race at the end of the year, which is why I don't do more divisional stuff. I like to, I'd like to do divisional stuff, but not against Camping World stuff. So there's the Pontiac update. Thank you, Jeff, for asking. Great show as always, says Eddie. Congratulations to Ron. Ron Capps is a deserving champion from the change of crew chief, the push-pull brake situation, etc. You heard about it first here on WFO Radio. No Top Fuel Harley on the schedule. Hoping they get a series sponsor soon. Is that, no, that's not true. Top Fuel Harley will begin at Gainesville. The second race for Top Fuel Harley will be Charlotte 1, Richmond. They'll skip a race, and then Top Fuel Harley will be at Bristol. And then Top Fuel Harley will be at Indianapolis, and Top Fuel Harley will conclude their season in Dallas. So it's right here, man. The PDF, downloadable PDF available on NHRA.com has got everything. So there it is. Derek. I still think Capsco would be a cool name. I like it, Lonnie. I'm in a very difficult situation. I don't want to joke around and misinform people out there. You know how easy people are misinformed these days? And so, but yes, Capsco is kind of cool. I got to give you that. I'll joke with Steve about it, but not Ron, because Ron's he's in the stuff right now. Joe Goes Racing, quick update. Yeah, that's the same as the Poncho update. Joe Goes Racing. Joe will be racing Flying Ryan Ayler December 29th at Showtime Drag Strip in St. Petersburg, Tampa, St. Pete area. The race is going to be in the early evening, but it's Test and Tune opens at 3 p.m. and they're having a big event out there, the grand opening for his deal. And so Joe's going to, Joe versus Pro is what that's called. Joe versus Pro. Exactly. Joe versus Pro. Look, they're having their own conversation. You're a big shot Top Fuel sponsor these days, Derek. Pretty cool. Yes. Derek is a big shot Top Fuel sponsor. I'm so proud of our WFO listeners for getting on board with Alex Laughlin and supporting his project, and several others supporting Alex. And really, though, come on, Haviland, right? Let's get this guy out there full time and show what he's really capable of. Scott Palmer, show what they're really capable of. Assuming Scott wants that, which, I don't know if he does or he doesn't. Any thoughts on the 4-valve Suzuki getting 10 pounds slapped on them? No. Well, yeah, Matt Smith announced that he would be going to Suzuki, and so that's why they did it. I don't know. My whole thing is they are definitely very quick. They are the class of the field now, so you can always take the weight back off. It's just unfortunate that people will have to starve themselves again. That's the one thing I don't like. When your brother, Corey, said that he hadn't had a cheeseburger in a year because he had starved himself. Like, I don't think that that's healthy, not eating a cheeseburger. You got to have a cheeseburger every once in a while. Great show, Joe WFO says, Scott, thank you very much, Scott. A name on the car, baby. I was jealous. Yeah, no, I was jealous too. I'm sure there'll be more chances. Hopefully there will. Next time I'm leveling up. You should level up always. Did you see Josh Hart's announcement about the second rig he bought? Yeah, Josh said that on WFO. See, that's the thing, where I'm failing. And the reason I don't do it is because I really believe people say stuff on this show, WFO Radio, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, etc. Go to the website, WFOradio.com, buy some merch. The reason they say stuff on the show is because I don't make a spectacle of it. Josh told us there was going to be he had the opportunity to buy a second team. And is it going to be a second team or more of a backup situation? He was working that out. But yeah, that was old WFO news. Go to the inaugural F1 race, Joe. Yeah, I don't know, man. Someone told me yesterday that they think that the tickets that I have purchased are going to be worth $3,000 each by race day. Think about that. And if that is the case, I think I would have no choice to not go. Or maybe, I don't know. But it's a good problem to have tickets to the inaugural Formula One Miami. And maybe someone out there in the WFO universe is ready to give me the $3,000 per ticket right now. And we could just get this over with. Good luck, Ron, in 2022. Every class down to the final event. Perfect. Good show, Joe. Yeah, even Billy was like, I still hate the countdown. Yeah, but do you though? Look at all this that it creates. Come on. It's not all about just purist competition. No, you've got to go through it twice. You're the best of the regular season. And what solves that? A regular season award. The leader in the points at the end of the regular season should win something and receive something. That tells the world that part of the season is over. And even Billy, no, Billy, you won this part of the season. Look, you're the winner. Here's your pen. You've won this. Congratulations on being the regular season champion. And now you entered the bonus round where you could maybe become the overall champion. And NASCAR, we followed NASCAR down this road. When they make adjustments, maybe we should follow them along, like making wins the way you qualify. You got to win a race to qualify. Oh, only 5 people won races that year. Oh, only 5 people qualify. I'm not saying we should do it. I'm throwing it out there for a suggestion. You didn't win a race. Why should you qualify? Well, I run it up at all the races, Joe. All right, that's a good argument. I'm sitting at 19%. Got to go, but that's okay. Oh, yeah, that's me. Have a great weekend. Have fun at the track. Yeah, Fastlane Friday tonight, Homestead. Meanwhile, the 5-day bracket race is going on at Palm Beach, but I'm going down to see my Fastlane Friday brothers. Love the show from Australia. Thank you very much. TorqueCalibrationServices.com.au. Reach out. Joe, when is PRI? Early December 8th, 9th, and 10th, something like that. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that week. Did I miss the show? You did, man. You did. Caps told all. It was amazing. You missed it, Ricky. You missed it. When are you running the Thunderbird, Ricky? That's what we all want to know. No PSM in Vegas 1. Well, you see what they did there with that, the 4 wides? There's no Pro Stock motorcycle at 4 wide Vegas. There's no Pro Stock at 4 wide Charlotte. So those guys only have to run 4 wide once. So there was obviously some thought that went into that. About Top Fuel Harley, I was asking, haven't had a chance to check it out. Oh, well, then you asked a good question. Just having fun, not meaning to fuel any rumors, not my style. Good style, Lonnie. Only 5 countdown races for Pro Stock and Pro Stock motorcycle. Yes, that is correct. Wasn't that the plan for 2020 before we eliminated the countdown due to the worldwide pandemic? So we're back to the track we were on. What a great effort Alex Laughlin has put in. Yeah, absolutely. Jim Parks, will this be available in audio form today? Of course, WFO Radio gets our audio up on the air immediately for the podcast. So you're sharing, everybody's sharing and retweeting, hopefully. Same here, Lonnie was trying to lighten up the interview. Oh, yeah, just trying to lighten it up with some humor, guys. Look, it wasn't light enough for you guys? Come on. It wasn't light. Does Torrance really need another trophy? He says he does. Winning rounds wins championships. Yes, it does. Going down the racetrack, right? Going down the racetrack. Just go down the racetrack, and it'll all sort itself out. It really does. Tim, congratulations, bud. World champion. Amazing. Talking to Nostalgia Pro Stock Group this weekend for next year. Oh, you can get in it. That car was a Pro Stocker at some point. Get in on it. Looking ahead to the Door Slammer Nationals this spring. Spectating, driving, maybe. Who, you? Wow. I like it, Jeff. Keep fighting that deal, man. Keep fighting it. Jeff has been battling the deal and has been letting us behind the scenes to know all about it, and doing better and better all the time. And we really appreciate him. I think that is great. And I'm super excited about all of our listeners. And that's it. We are done. Thanks to Ron Capps for coming on the show, being our first of the 2021 Parade of Champions, but he is just the first. Greg Anderson next Wednesday. We'll have Reinhardt on Tuesday. We'll have GA on Wednesday. Then it's off for the Thanksgiving break. I'm thinking about going to the Citrus Nationals, what might be the final Citrus Nationals at Palm Beach International Raceway, which I've decided to call Moroso Motorsports Park for the remainder of its tenure. Dave Richards is going to have his nitro car out there. And, Bob Z is going to be working. They're going to be running a nitro car within an hour from my house. I think I got to go, right? As poor a job as they're doing promoting that deal. I think I got to go, right? There you go. Let's see. They say do it. I don't know. I haven't heard about that. I know that that's Wes's deal, and they'll let me know. But they've always got a deal going. Things morph and change and update and advance. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, everybody. What can you do for me? That's the question. What can you do for me? Share the show. Invite some friends. Let them know that Drag Racing Talk on WFO Radio goes right through the winter break. Within reason, not between Christmas and New Year's, but right through the winter break. But hey, we're going to be out there at the Joe versus Pro at Showtime Dragway in St. Petersburg. And everybody keeps asking about that. Like, is that going to be fun? Is it going to be a good deal? Like, what are you going to have? What Flying Ryan is putting this thing together? Why would you not come on out? Is PBIR done for sure? Nothing is for sure, but the city would have to rezone the land, is what I hear. All right, guys. You're putting some news up there. I don't want to mention it because it's just sad news, obviously. Thanks to Ron Capps for coming on our show. Appreciate all you listeners out there. And we'll be back next week with more WFO. Great job, Ron and team.